Okay, so my Chase IHG Premier Business credit card is finally here, and we're going to get to the unboxing in a bit, but I wanted to share what happened with my credit limit on this card. Now, since my application went from a pending review status to approved, I couldn't tell what my credit limit was because I never got to see that approval page from Chase. And although Chase credit cards are supposed to show up on your online account after approval, for some reason, my Chase cards don't do this, so I have to wait. But before the card showed up, I received a letter in my online Chase account that explained what happened with my credit limit, and I wanted to go over it briefly since it's definitely going to change the way I handle my Chase credit limits moving forward. So I want to first take a step back and explain my Chase credit card limits prior to getting approved for the IHG Premier Business card so we're all on the same page. I have 4 Chase credit cards: the Chase United Gateway card, the Chase Ritz-Carlton card, the Chase Inc. Cash card, and the Chase Inc. Unlimited card. And here are the credit limits on each one of these cards. You can see that I have a total credit limit of $98,500, with $78,500 of that credit limit on the personal side and $20,000 of that credit limit on the business side. Now, so far, I've been able to get approved for Chase credit cards without any issues when it comes to credit limits. In fact, my last Chase credit card application was for a Chase Inc. Cash card, and I was approved with a $9,500 credit limit, which was pretty nice. But as I'm approaching a total of $100,000 of credit limit with Chase, I'm getting to that threshold where I may have too much available credit, which could pose some problems when it comes to new credit cards from Chase. And to be fair, I'm not too worried about it because I've seen multiple data points from others who've reached their limit and how they were able to turn their denial into an approval. When you reach your maximum credit limit with Chase, your Chase credit card application is declined, but after calling the reconsideration line, you can request to switch credit limit from an existing card to the new card, which is then ultimately approved. So luckily, with the Chase IHG Premier Business card, I was able to go through the whole application process without a denial, and I was approved for this card after a pending review status, but soon afterwards, I noticed something interesting. When looking at my accounts, Chase automatically decreased my credit limit on my Chase Inc. Unlimited from $10,000 to $5,000, and my guess is that limit was used to open my new IHG Premier Business card. And this is the letter I received, so let's see what they had to say. It reads, "Thank you for applying for a new IHG World Elite Business card account. We approve your application and your new account has a $5,000 credit line. To approve your request, we made adjustments to your other accounts and we'd like to explain why. We based our decision on the following reasons. Number 1, you have too many active accounts or too much available credit, and 2, you have low usage of Chase credit lines." Now, I certainly don't have too many active accounts with only 2 Chase personal credit cards and 2 Chase business credit cards. But I'll admit, I do have a lot of available credit, so I can see where Chase is coming from, especially because I definitely don't fully use my Chase credit lines. So with that in mind, here's the action they took on my account, where they clearly decreased my existing Inc. Unlimited credit line from $10,000 to $5,000. And this is something that I didn't think Chase would do. I always thought that Chase would first auto-decline you if you hit your individual credit limit cap, but it looks like they're able to shift your credit limit around to approve you for the new card, which is good to know. So for me, it looks like my total Chase credit limit is capped at $98,500. So now that I know this, how am I going to use this information? Well, one thing is for sure. I definitely want to continue to apply for more Chase cards, so it's important for me to make my future credit card applications easier, and here's how I'm going to do that. There are 2 strategies to consider. Number 1, voluntarily decreasing my credit limit with them, and number 2, building up a stronger relationship with Chase by opening up other types of accounts. So to be clear, I'm not a big fan of voluntarily decreasing my credit limit, but for my situation, I think this is something I'm going to need to do, and let me explain. With my total credit limit of $98,500 with Chase, $20,000 is with business cards, and the remainder is on personal cards. And one of the issues you run into with personal and business credit limits, specifically with Chase, is that you can't move personal credit limit to business or business credit limit to personal. It all has to stay within the personal side or the business side only when you do credit limit transfers. And I used to have 2 business credit cards at $10,000 apiece, but now I have 3 business credit cards, 2 with a $5,000 credit limit and 1 with a $10,000 credit limit. Assuming I can get approved for 1 more Chase business credit card, it would likely mean that all 4 of those Chase business cards would have $5,000 each. But if I got approved for a 5th Chase credit card, what then? I'm not sure if Chase would even allow me to transfer existing business credit limit to that fifth card. For example, if the card I want to get has a minimum credit limit of $5,000, they may even request I close a card account before I open a new one, which is not a situation I want to be in. So how am I going to make more credit limit available? Well, if I voluntarily decrease my credit limits on my personal cards, that limit could be available for that new business credit card. So before I apply for that fifth Chase business credit card, I plan on reducing the credit limits on my personal cards as shown here, and my plan is to drop them both down to $35,000 each, which would leave about $8,500 in available credit limit, which could be available for that business credit card application. And so that's what I'll be doing with my credit limits, but I also want to briefly discuss what I can do to build a stronger relationship with Chase Bank and hopefully a higher maximum credit limit. Aside from the Chase credit cards, I don't have any other accounts with them, like checkings, savings, or investments. And so I could potentially open up these types of accounts, which may be helpful to build up that banking relationship. I could also start spending more on their cards, but even though I could do a little bit more than I'm doing now, I don't think I'm going to be able to spend enough to even get close to my credit limits. So I'm not going to really bother with this option. And so that's my current plan for my Chase credit limits and how I'm going to deal with them moving forward, at least for now. I'm definitely planning on getting more Chase credit cards this year, and I'm super pumped to start the year off by getting the Chase IHG Premier Business credit card while it had this limited time elevated welcome offer. And so with all that being said, let's go ahead and get into the unboxing, or more accurately, the unenveloping of this card. Okay, so here I have my new Chase IHG One Rewards Premier credit card. And you can see that it came in this nice white envelope here. It's pretty plain. And so this is a mid-tier credit card. And so I didn't expect it to come in any kind of luxury packaging because this is not a premium credit card. And so I don't expect premium packaging. Just for full disclosure, as usual, I did open up this envelope beforehand just to make sure that I blocked off some personal information. But it is pretty thick. So let's go ahead and open it up here and see what it has to offer in terms of information. And like I mentioned earlier in this video, I do have a credit limit here of $5,000, which is pretty nice. Now, I since have transferred more credit limit to this card, so it actually can be easier to spend on. And so I actually now have $10,000 on it by transferring some of my existing credit line from another business credit card onto this. And that was super simple. All I did was call customer service after I activated this card. And so right here, you can feel it's nice and solid here. So that's where the card is. So we'll take a look at it in 3, 2, 1, and here it is. The Chase IHG One Rewards Premier Business Credit Card. First notice is that it's actually plastic, and so you can feel that it's not super premium feeling. It's very flimsy. You can see it kind of bends a little bit, and it's not like metal or anything like that, but it's still a pretty solid looking card. It's got the IHG One Rewards logo on it, as well as the World Elite MasterCard logo on the bottom right and the Chase logo on the top left. Of course, your name and your business name will be here on the bottom left that I covered up here. So it's pretty simple in terms of a design, and I honestly like it. In terms of the color, I can see that the light shines on it quite nicely. From my opinion, I think it is the best colored card compared to the IHG Premier Personal and the IHG Traveler cards. And so this is definitely the color that I prefer out of those three. What's cool about this card too is that there's a little bit of an orange border on the top here. You can kind of see if you look at it, kind of like the Southwest Priority card. It's got like a little blue tint to it, and then on the side here it's orange, so that gives it a little bit of dimension if you look at it from a different angle. So if we take this card, we flip it over, we can see that this card also has the standard things you'd expect. So it has the magnetic strip. It also has the Chase customer numbers here, as well as the IHG rewards number 2. Again, all your information like your credit card number, your signature line, your 3-digit CVV, and your expiration date are all going to be here where I covered it with this sticky tape here. But other than that, it's all pretty much a standard looking card. I also want to mention that it is a tap to pay card too. So if you want to look at this tap to pay here, you could use that, and that would be something pretty nice to do as well. And so that's the card itself. We'll kind of put this off to the side here. And so let's take a look at the stuff that's in the envelope as well. We have information about what they do with your personal information, so you can read that at your leisure if you'd like. We also have this here that talks about the business card agreement and the rates and fees table, which is cool to know. I do have a 21.49% APR, which is, it's okay. It's not the best, but because I do pay my card off on time and in full, it does not matter at all. We also have the guide to benefits, which is nice. So we can take a look at that at our leisure in the future, as well as our business card member agreement. So that's also really nice to see too. But I do want to go over a little bit this pamphlet here. That's the IHG pamphlet that says plan to go, plan to stay, your guide to the IHG One Rewards Premier Business Credit Card. And so it's really nice that we can kind of see this Kimpton here at the Armory Hotel in Bozeman. So that's nice. Hopefully one day able to stay at that property. We'll see. So if you open it up here, it says, congratulations, your new IHG One Rewards Premier Business Credit Card has arrived. And you can see that it has pictures of different areas or different hotel properties they have, like the Crown Plaza in Istanbul, as well as Hotel Indigo in Brussels too. And so we should all be familiar with the multipliers already, but just in case we're not, we can get up to 26x points total back at IHG, with 10x points back because you're a card holder, 6x points because you're Platinum Elite, which comes with the card, as well as 10x points back for being an IHG One Rewards member in the first place. So that's kind of combined up to 26x points. You also get 5x points back on travel, dining, social media, and search engine advertising, and at office supply stores and gas stations, as well as 3x points back on everything else. So that's pretty cool. Of course, this card, we can't forget about this benefit, which is the anniversary free night, which after each year you receive a anniversary free night, good for one night at one of our eligible IHG hotels and resorts worldwide. Again, that's capped at 40,000 points, but you can actually add more IHG points to it if you would like to do so and get a higher redemption level. The next page does show some additional perks of the card, including the Platinum Elite status that we talked about from before. Of course, you don't want to forget the redeem 3 nights and get the 4th night free, which is a pretty solid benefit, which the other hotel chains don't have nearly as good, because Marriott and Hilton hotels give you the 5th night free, and so that's certainly not as good as the one that IHG gives us. We also have a United Airlines credit. I'm still trying to figure out how to activate this, and so I've kind of read on the bottom here in kind of the fine print where it tells you how to do that here on point number 5. They said to go to ihg.com/united to get that taken care of, but for some reason it's not working for me. I think the reason is because my name on my Chase account and the name on my IHG account, they're not identical. And so I have to go ahead and fix that. And so once I do that, hopefully it'll be okay. I'll be able to activate my credit on this card. We also have some other benefits here that are not nearly as helpful because it requires a lot of spend. So we get $100 statement credit and a 10,000 bonus points after spending $20,000, which is, nice, but, if that's kind of a lot of money to spend for that. As well as you can get Diamond Elite status when you spend $40,000 or more on the card, which is also even more than that. And then you can also get up to $60,000 and an additional free night. And of course, those are going to be there for you if you want it, but probably not the best things to do when you go to spend, because there's certainly a lot more welcome offers that are much better, to do in terms of getting better value from your spend. So that's kind of what this card looks like. Again, this is the IHG One Rewards Premier Business Card. I'm pretty excited to start using it, and start getting into the IHG hotel program. I'm definitely someone who stays at a lot of Marriotts, but because of the way that I'm looking at the IHG program and staying in Asia more often, I'm hoping to use this card and stay at IHG properties a lot more often. So thanks so much for checking out this video, and again, I'll see you guys in the next one.